So here's a good way to practice your process. We're going to make some spacer beads. Spacer beads, these type of spacer beads are just a small version of what we've been working on. It's a very small bagel, and they're very handy in jewelry design. You can make them whatever size you like and whatever shape and decoration or whatever. We'll keep this first one simple, and then we'll do a little more interesting second set, and we're going to do 3 beads per mandrel. Come away, pause, touch, create some distance, and then a little left to right with my hand, my left hand, so as to create the base, the width of the base, and then the glass is being sent, kind of thread and bobbin, left to right to left to right. Okay, and that's enough of that. Now, normally I'd switch hands if I were just making a singular bead, but because I'm going to be making a number of beads, I'll just stick with my left hand, so that's good practice too. I was very right-handed at the beginning, and now I'm certainly more capable with my left hand than I was before, so that's a good thing. Same idea, working on the surface of the flame. I can feel in my fingertips once it gets to that point where it's molten. Then I come away, don't change my movements, let that solidify. Okay, and then while that is cooling a bit, I'm going to get my next gather going. Okay, warm up that next work area while keeping that first bead warm. I don't want it to cool and shock. Got to keep it warm, but not molten, just warm. Come away, let it cool a little bit, then touch, create a thread, and then left to right, left to right. That gives you some width. Also means your bead's not so tall. If you go in one place only, the bead gets very tall very quick, and it makes for a more challenging melt process. Okay, that's good enough. Right away I go over and get that heat on the first bead, okay, because that one's been sitting out of the flame for a bit. I want to make sure to keep it warm, so just get into that habit. And again, if it's sitting right next to the bead I'm working on, it's already getting a lot of heat, so it's not going to get too cool. But if I'm going to make a third one, so that first one, it's going to be out of the heat much more so. So you want to make sure to always be, keep it in mind, keep it warm. Same idea, just dook, right on the surface of the flame. The glass is heading towards the heat as it melts. It's dripping, and I'm catching it with my very slow rotation. Then it starts to speed up as it gets molten and balanced and centered and true. Yeehaw! I come away, don't change my movements. And while that's solidifying, I'm going to get that first bead warm again, okay? Alright, and then I'll do a third one. And while I'm doing the third one, I will always just be keeping the first 2 warm. Always rotating and bouncing in and out of the flame. Ya-ta-ta-ta-ta. So, come away, pause, touch, create a thread, and then a little left to right action to give you some width. Tut, 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 tut. See, right now that first bead, it's out of the heat for a while, so as soon as I feel like there's enough glass there, I'm going to go boom. So I'll cut that thread and then move right over there and get that heat on it. Okay? And then the second one as well, but I'm more concerned about that first one. So now I'm going to set that glass rod down, because now I'll just move to my strong hand, my right hand. Finish up with that one. First thing I'll do though is I'll get that first set, the first 2 beads, nice and warm. Not changing the shape, I'm just getting them warm. Now I can focus on this last spacer bead without worrying that the first 2 are going to get too cool. Twa, 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 twa. Always follows that same process. If you let it. War is over. If we want it to be. Okay, now as that first bead is solidifying, I'm going to go back and reheat those other 2. Okay, because now what I want is I want the 3 of them to go into the insulating material at an equal rate so that they cool at an equal rate. Okay, so basically I'm flame annealing them all so that as they cool, they'll cool equally. So those are nice, and they're not exact. Oh no, he's imperfect. He's an imperfect machine. But that's okay. And if you make, if you sit down and make a bunch of these, it's great practice. And they're still, all, very similar. So you do end up, with plenty of pairs and whatnot. So pop that in there. Leave that in there for a bit.